Good afternoon. This is Benjamin Gonzalez. I'm the director of creative services, and I made the Thursday Night Kickoff. And these two are our announcers for Thursday Night Kickoff. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Aiden Branstad. I'm the host for Thursday Night Kickoff alongside.
Francisco Gonzalez. I guess you could say I'm also co-host and good friend of two lovely guys next to me.
Two lovely guys. How was your relations with TV and being a announcer treating you guys?
So I've been in TV since my freshman year, 2022. My first game was the Hinza LT football game. And since then, I've done almost 300 live games or something like that.
It's pretty impressive.
And about a year ago, we started, probably over a year ago, we started TNK, which is a live production sports show. Every Thursday, we do, everything from basketball, football, baseball, just covering kind of the wide web. We do a segment called like Around the Horn, where we'll cover everything if we don't have like a major topic. And I also do like the lower third for the show, and also kind of like the notes.
Yep. Well, I'm currently a senior. I started doing LTTV my junior year. Aiden actually introduced me. My first time ever being involved with TV actually was during Thursday Night Kickoff. Philip, another co-host, he was there, but he was sick that entire week. And Aiden, last minute swing at lunch asked me that day. He's like, "Hey, do you mind being on the sports talk show?" I was like, "Sure." That's how I got my intro. I became a permanent member on Thursday Night Kickoff. I also started doing, some of those sports productions as well. I do believe my first production was a girls' basketball game. Don't quote me on that. But, it's been a lovely ride.
Yeah, I think it was you and Danny on that girls' basketball game.
But, it's been a great job, great experience meeting with everyone, Bill, Alan, Carafa, Graham, Brittany, all those advisors. They've been doing, such a great job. Making everyone feel included, and just, even the team, everybody involved, all the students. It's been a great job, connecting with everyone over the years and made a lot of great friends.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a wild 4 years. Some crazy games along the way, but yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything.
Thank you, gentlemen. Can you give us a rundown of what you guys do at Thursday Night Kickoff?
At TNK, normally we'll film it either in a study hall or after school on a Thursday. We'll kind of run through about 3 major segments. We'll start off normally with like football or basketball. Those are normally our big 2 ones. We'll kind of have like a 10, 15, 7 to 10 minute segment about each. We'll do like football, then we'll kind of throw it to basketball. It kind of depends, obviously, on the season. Sometimes it's, if neither of those are going on, we'll just strictly do baseball. We've done like the Masters, we've done March Madness. So we'll have about 3 major segments. Sometimes the third segment can be a segment called call-ins, where we'll have like people call in, normally on just our cell phones. We'll talk to them a little bit. We'll say like, "Hey, what's your hot take?" It can even be like, orientated for what we're talking about, like a lot of times with the draft. Sometimes instead of having like 3 segments, we'll have a part where we bring another sports announcer on, like we have James Cicerone, we have Sawyer Michael, we have some other people who will come on the show and give a hot take. So it's kind of just, we kind of plan it by year, but we kind of keep it fun, keep it like lively. It's kind of, the whole point of the show is to kind of just, not mess around, but have a little fun with it. It's not supposed to be too serious, but we like to keep it fun, but we also like to, have our takes and get our sports takes across.
Yeah, well, I mean, you really did all the talking there, but I feel like I'm just kind of a comedic relief there on Thursday Night Kickoff. I do, make good talking points every once in a while. I do feel like, but I give a lot of hot takes. Some, boiling hot that the boys are just clowning me for. But, I've honestly loved being on Thursday Night Kickoff. It's just, great. I mean, it's what we do, no matter if we're on set in the studio or even just at lunch. We're always talking about sports, what's going on. So, it was kind of fun to put some time aside to, be able to, just spend some time to talk about it. And kind of just have that rock in your schedule to, make sure, just have everything organized.
Yeah, for sure. TNK, it's really fun. And Franny, you do have some good takes besides the comedy as well. Some shows definitely are a little more like goofy, I'd say, than other ones. But we do like to keep
100%.
Sometimes it's very serious. Like I know we did a basketball. Sometimes we'll switch it up. We'll do like a high school basketball preview. Like Lions Township, they took on Curry. They were #1 in the state for a while. When they played, we did like a 20-minute show.
The mock draft ones were really
mock draft. Yeah, we'll probably do that when we get back home to LT. So yeah, I mean, it kind of just keep it free, and it's kind of cool to be able to have that creativity, and that's very nice of Karafa and Alan to let us do that.
Yeah, of course. There was a lot of questions that I've had about you guys in announcing. I've received a lot of compliments and telling me that I should get into announcing, but I've heard that it's a difficult thing to do, just to be like on point. Like, what happens if you guys like mess up a name, or what happens if you guys like mess up a shot or anything like that? Any fouls or anything? Like, what do you guys do if you guys mess up?
Can I take
You want to
this
answer
one?
it? Yeah, go.
Well, I mean, sometimes it depends. I know you mentioned getting, a foul called wrong. Honestly, I feel like those aren't too serious as much. We'll be like, apologies, folks, and then we'll correct ourselves on what the call was. But I'd say one of the hardest parts about messing up often, I feel like it's just the names. Because, some of these players on opposing teams, obviously with LT, you get familiarized on the names and how to pronounce them and everything. But during some of these away games, some of the Slavic names get really hard to pronounce. So, we'll try to look up the phonetics of it or just try to pronounce it the best of our abilities.
I think too. One. Do you mind if I?
Yeah, no,
answer
go
that
ahead.
one too. I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly. At the end of the day, I mean, my first game I was pretty bad. Everyone's going to be bad to start anything. You're not going to get it on the first try. Sometimes you're, I guess, a natural, but most times in any career, you're going to mess up at least quite a few times. Even if you're really good at something, you're still going to make a mistake. I even go back and watch my games this year, like compared to the first softball to the second softball game. I kind of learned a lot. Kind of learned how to make the game flow a little bit. So you just got it. It's just a lot of reps, especially with announcing. You're not going to be like a stud at it the first time, but definitely if you can kind of just work your way through it, work your way through the broadcast, keep it, obviously you have notes for a reason. It doesn't really matter if you're play-by-play or color, but you also are just really just storytelling. So you're always going to have something to talk about no matter what it is. It's really just, I think at the end of the day, it's just continuing to keep going. Even when it's hard, just continue to put your foot in the ground and keep moving.
Is there anything that people look for, announcers, the voices, like enthusiasm, like anything like that?
I wouldn't say so. I feel like no matter what background or what type of person you are, or just anything in general, I feel like you could be an announcer. I think it's more about, the dedication that you have and the interest into it, because obviously there's so many pathways that you can take. Even, I have a language barrier like this. I'm sure TV, LT would be open to having, translation announcers on there as well, which is, just an amazing opportunity that we do have with LT. But honestly, anyone could be an announcer. You just got to be, willing to put the time in and, just improve yourself over the years.
I think, yeah, that's definitely one thing, is just a lot of it is improvement. I think also it does come with a personality. I think if you know what you're talking about, even if you sometimes don't, at least if you can keep it fun for the audience. I mean, the whole goal is sports are supposed to be fun. If you can keep it fun and, have some like basis with it, kind of, not, necessarily kind of entertain, I guess broadcasting and TV's in the entertainment market, but definitely just keep it fun. The whole point is to keep the viewer engaged and help them enjoy the game. You're not trying to take that away from them. So just kind of keep up with the game flow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. You guys seem like you guys have a lot of fun, even though during like serious games, you guys have a lot of fun. But I appreciate you boys. Appreciate guys the time. Stay tuned for a new logo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for a new logo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.